Right, good evening. This is a meeting of the Sandwich Tollbridge Fund Finance Committee. Can I first of all ask the Town Clerk whether there are any apologies for absences received?
Yes, Chair. Councillor Black has a travel commitment.
Thank you. Declarations of interest, and this is to receive any declarations of disclosable pecuniary interest from members in respect of business to be transacted on the agenda. Are there any? No, thank you very much. Agenda item number 3, and this is attachment 1, the minutes of the Finance Committee meeting held on the 12th of March 2025. Are there any comments that any member would like to make? And if not,
propose acceptance of the minutes,
is
Chair.
happy to second them? I hope somebody will second them.
Yeah.
Councillor Glynn, and to vote. That's unanimous. Okay. Moving on to agenda item 4, public participation, 20-minute session set aside for members of the public to make representations at a meeting in respect of the business on the agenda. Are there any requests?
No request, Chair.
Thank you very much. If we can move on to the payment schedules. And I'll separate these out into different groupings. So the first is to take the 4 payment schedules for approval. These are attachments 2A to 2F in the pack, and it's to approve the Sandwich Tollbridge Fund payment schedules for end of March 2025 and mid-April 2025, to approve the Sandwich Tollbridge Fund Guildhall payment schedules for the end of March 2025 and mid-April 2025, to approve the Sandwich Tollbridge Fund Guildhall payments that miss the schedule for March 2025, and finally to approve Museum and Archives payment schedule for the end of March 2025. Could move through each one and take any comments on the first one?
Just have a comment. I know I should have, Town Clerk's going to be upset with me saying this, but I've been working so I haven't been able to. With item number 3 on 2A, Peninsula Company, is the £309.28, is that a monthly payment or a quarterly payment or an annual payment?
I'll have to check with Karen. I don't think it's annual.
No, I don't think it's annual.
Yeah, I'll check with Karen.
I was just a bit worried if it was a monthly payment of £309.28, that would sort of scare me a little bit.
I don't think it's, I think it might be quarterly, but I'll check with Karen and...
Oh, that's very kind of you. Sorry I didn't send that to you prior to the meeting.
Any other comments? Sorry, thank you. Any other comments on 2A, and if not, move on to 2B. And moving on to 2C.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
It's you're not going to like me because I keep repeating things. Item 427. I know they're quite expensive, but one LED light bulb, £32.16. Is that how much LED light bulbs cost now, or was it a special light bulb?
No, it wasn't just a small. It's the whole.
Yeah.
The whole system. You know, the whole
unit.
light, the whole unit.
Oh, I
yeah,
see.
It's the whole sort of what we would know as street light.
Oh,
so it's quite a...
It wasn't just one bulb.
No, it's not. No, it's the whole thing went, and actually that, although obviously that's a cost, that was on my list to do for the whole building, as in, you know, when I do the installation and the lighting,
Exactly.
so that can come off that.
Oh, I see.
So yeah, so that would be like, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just the terminology there did say light bulb.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that would be quite
Oh my
frightening.
gosh.
Yeah.
But thank you for the answer on
No
that.
problem.
thank you. 2D. And 2E. And finally 2F. No? Okay, is anybody happy to propose that we approve these?
I'm happy to
Councillor
vote.
Carter
No,
and Councillor Pennington seconding. Like to vote on those? The next report we're asked to receive and approve is the Sandwich Tollbridge Fund cash book as of the 31st of March 2025. This is attachment 2G. Have any comments on that? If not, somebody happy to propose?
No, I'm happy to propose.
And seconding, Councillor Wiles, and voting It's unanimous. Okay. Next set of the free bank reconciliation reports, attachments 2H to 2J, and that's to receive and approve bank reconciliation for Sandwich Tollbridge Fund as of the 31st of March 2025, to receive and approve the bank reconciliation for Sandwich Tollbridge Fund Guildhall as of the 31st of March 2025, and finally to receive and approve the bank reconciliation for Sandwich Tollbridge Fund Museum as of the 31st of March 2025. So we'll start with 2H. To I, and finally to J. No? So we have to propose
Happy
those.
to propose
And
those.
seconding Councillor Green, I think is, yeah, finished up. And the votes. Thank you. And the final set of the free budget variance reports, they are included in the pack as attachments 2K to 2M. And that's to receive and approve the budget variance reports for Sandwich Tollbridge Fund for end of March 2025, to receive and approve budget variance reports for STBF Guildhall for the end of March 2025, and finally to receive and approve the budget variance reports for STBF Museum for the end of March 2025. So I'm taking any comments on 2K. Yes, Councillor Green.
Yeah, I did query with the RFO earlier this week about item 100 on 2K, which is the Guildhall car park, where this is income that we are due to receive, and you'll see the actual net is minus 2310. And so how, I wanted an explanation on that. And it seems that this is the income from the car park, but Dover District Council pay it in arrears, so we will not receive the income for the car park until May, till after the financial year, which seems a little bit kind of unreasonable, given that they want us to pay up front the Guildhall rates and so forth, lump sum in advance. So I would like to offer myself to help do a deep dive, but I will take this up with the town RFO, and maybe we should be negotiating better payment terms on the car parks from Dover.
Town Clerk.
Yes, thank you. Councillor Green, I have looked into this before. The issue they have is they have to go to their year end and calculate the income that they've generated and how much it's cost them over the year. That's the issue. They get to their year end and they can't give us our income until they've done all their calculations, and it takes a number of weeks, I'm told.
Well, I find it funny when people are, already paying income for this next financial year when they drive into the car park. Surely they must do quarterly and half-yearly accounts where they could put a payment through on account and so forth. So I understand what you're saying, Town Clerk. I think it's worth a discussion.
Yes. Yeah, so I think it's in excess of a month that it takes them to do all the calculations.
Councillor Carter.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I was just going to back up what the town clerk said. We have previous administrations have actually addressed this and approached Dover District Council to see if we can get that amended, and unfortunately, I wish you well. I hope you have good luck on it. But we have gone down this route 2 or 3 times before, and unfortunately, it's always come back as the town clerk says that we get paid when we get paid. Unfortunately, but I hope it goes well.
Thank you. Councillor Pennington.
The item 200, the annual loan repayment from the tennis club, is this the final payment, and was the loan interest free, do you know?
Where does this appear, Councillor Pennington? Is
It's
this
on 2K.
2K?
Sorry, I thought we were on
2K at the moment.
Yeah.
And
It's
there is
right in
yes, it's
200.
2K, yeah,
I
200.
can answer part of that,
Yeah,
Chairman.
fire away.
Yeah, so it wasn't an interest-free loan from the previous administration to be paid back over. I can't remember the payment duration. That was.
Well, I think it's a 10-year loan, right? I'm just not sure.
I thought it was 10,000. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the correct
10
count
years.
Anderson.
That's just triggered a thought in my mind. I'm sure I saw a payment in respect of the tennis club water charges or something earlier tonight. So
Yeah.
why are we paying tennis club water charges? Anyway, I'll raise that with the town.
Separately,
with
yes.
Separately with
Well,
the
for the next
RFO.
meeting.
Yeah, when I do my deep dive.
Is it to do
You
with
might go
allotments?
with the Boatman Hill Chapel as well,
Yes.
when it comes to
Yeah.
water charges, 'cause
Yeah.
you don't need water there.
No, but it's just a supply being available. I think we've had that answer before, but it's worth checking again. Yeah, no, it's on time. Okay, 2K, so moving on to 2L. And finally 2M. Somebody happy to propose that we receive and approve those reports? Councillor Carter and Councillor Green. Want to vote on those? Thank you. And the final attachment to end. That's all right. Is the Quilter Cheviot report for March 2025, which we're asked to receive. I'll open up for any comments on the report. So it might be a well-trodden discussion, but let's go for it. Anybody with comments?
Lackluster performance.
Well, I would just kind of comment, now that they've put all of the money into their own kind of fund, we don't actually see the movements within that fund, and, you know, I don't particularly like.
And also, they're buying and selling their own fund. I don't really understand why have they bought.
It is what it is.
Um,
This will certainly be a topic alongside F&GP around investments and funds for both Maddox and
Yeah, and I think we've kind of said we ought to get somebody to help us.
I just don't understand.
I
This
did.
minefield.
Mr. Chairman, I did raise this previously, and I believe it was yourself that said we've
You've
got
got the
this
old staff for that, certainly, Councillor Carter.
6 months. So my little grey memory cells are working, and we've got this 6-month period that we have to wait. I mean, it's not 6 months now, but my recommendation is that we get a full assessment of the whole situation once that 6-month period is up, right to the day that we put a proposal forward to get a benchmarking done.
I think it can be prepared ahead of the 6-month trigger point, and we can scope out how we want to approach it.
Exactly.
So that will be for the chair of the committee post
Oh, indeed, the
annual town meeting.
indeed the new civic year.
Okay, Councillor Wells?
Well, just thinking of the Trump effect, you know, shares are dropping
Yes.
all over the world in different markets, so
Yeah.
we might need to rethink about where they're investing.
Under the mattress at the moment.
Switch to gold.
Okay. Is somebody happy to propose that we receive this
I
report?
propose that we note the report.
And
For what
secondly,
it's worth.
Councillor Green. And that's unanimous. Okay. Agenda item 6. This was deferred from last month's meeting when the committee requested that the responsible finance officer sought advice from HMRC on the matter. I wonder, is there a verbal update provided from the RFO on what's happened between last meeting and this meeting?
Yes, so the RFO has made contact with HMRC, and they said your recent email to HMRC Charities VAT team, case number 300519969, has been forwarded to our VAT specialists. This is due to the complexity of your inquiry, and though your email is still logged in strict date order, it will take longer to reply to you. Thank you for your patience. So it's going to be a while, I think.
I believe it was my suggestion that we did take advice from HMRC. I turned to my learned colleague in accountancy who to do with the VAT partial exemption, who said that there would be very little very little return on undertaking it. So before we do engage anybody, is it Pierce Tax or Pierce somebody, Pierce Tax Consultants, I would like to get the decision from HMRC first.
Okay, let's keep that one in view, because obviously we can't, we don't know what the lead-in times is to get any advice, and that might influence when and if we need to make a decision on this. So I'd like to just ask, if we can just seek an assurance from the RFO regards her comfort with how we're approaching this, because I think I don't want to leave her feeling exposed around this issue herself. It's important that we do that.
Yeah, basically HMRC is very, very helpful if you inquire about it. They are really help you, indicating whether they actually can give you a rough idea whether it's worth you applying or not.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Also, sorry, Mr. Chairman, I did want to say, I can't remember, there was two bits in here. One said something about the RFO had actually left this in abeyance for a number of years. So any rush to get consultants in and pay them seems to go against not actually undertaking it for some time. And also it says exercise, they would also allow an exercise which is done to review VAT expenditure over a 7-year period. So I do want to support the RFO on this, but before we expend any more money, you know, we've got consultants coming out of our ears at the moment. So before we take on any more consultants, could we at least please follow the channel of inquiry that I did ask, please? And that would be my
Would this
pleasure.
be picked up as part of the audit, i.e. is it a question we can ask to seek that? So the RFO attended the last meeting last year, perhaps.
Yes.
There was a sense of uncomfortable in terms of leaving this going down a different track, but that's what the committee decided, and that's right. But it might be a question of the audit as well in terms of sensibility in terms of how we're doing it.
Could I say that usually when you undertake audits, as I do with the school governors at the technology school, if you can actually show that you've been active into investigating the issue that has been raised by the auditors, then that semi-ticks the box that we are actually trying to progress it. So.
Okay.
Sorry, please. For auditor point of view, I do not audit. You have to point out to the clients.
Yes.
You know, if they don't point out, they sort of not do their job properly. They just tick their boxes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any other comments? If not, are we happy to leave that as it stands at the moment in terms of carrying it forward and await the advice from HMRC? So obviously I note the fact that the HMRC are very, very good in terms of giving advice, but that is obviously determined by when they decide to respond, I suppose. Okay, so that's noted. Thank you. And then moving on to agenda item 7, this is around the terms of reference. So the reason I put this on tonight's agenda was as this is the last meeting of the committee before we move to the next year for the council. I just wanted us to take an opportunity to take a view on how well the committee is discharging its responsibilities, and to flag up any actions or areas of improvement that could be taken forward by the new committee once it's appointed. We had a status report produced by Councillor Green and accepted by the committee last November, and that listed 6 areas of decision making and delegated powers for the committee, and that's included in the report. So I just wanted to take really basically any views from attendees tonight in terms of that status report and what might be worth flagging up for next year. The floor is open to anybody who'd like to make any comments, and if not, we can just walk through each item specifically if you prefer.
Well, I think from my point of view, I would comment that I think we have addressed all of the 6 items, perhaps not in the level of depth that we all would feel entirely comfortable with.
I would agree with that. The only one that I would have sort of a light challenge around is item 4, which is making recommendations regarding the museum and archives. I'm not sure that we've actually drilled down well enough over the past year regards that, and that must be something that should be looked at next year. But we're going to be also looking at it within the working group as well. So I'm expecting next year there will be a lot more focus and activity around that and other areas.
I understand that, but I would say that we have seen papers coming from the museum manager that have been approved, if not necessarily always by this committee, but by the main council.
Councillor Pennington?
Yes, thank you. First comment is number 3, to review all budgets, seems a bit vague. Secondly, I do feel we've addressed most of these things, although maybe, as you imply, not in the depth that is really needed. So I think there's still a lot of work to be done on most of these issues.
Thank you. Any other comments? So I think in terms of your point, specific point, I mean, it could easily have added in STBF related budgets, but I think we know what we're talking about in terms of this committee. And I think we have done that because all those schedules and reconciliations and cash book statements come through to this committee, and we do review them religiously at each meeting and approve or otherwise.
Yeah, I just wanted to add the point which that accession to Councillor Pennington's is I think that's the factor that we need to consider, that we as a body of untrained and unqualified financial personnel have reviewed the budgets.
Yes.
So I believe that we could tick that box.
Yeah.
To say whether we've done, and to quote a famous councillor, a deep dive of certain areas of the budget, we can't say.
No.
But I think from the point of view of being unqualified auditors or verification, I think we've done a very good job. And in fact, from the point of view of being one of the longest serving members, I think, in the whole room here, the amount of financial regulations and verification that have been done in the last 2 years probably exceed any of the previous administrations several fold. So I think we should actually be patting ourselves on the back because there's been some remarkable improvements in what's been undertaken.
Okay, well, that's good to note, but I think there's more that we can do, as you also said, in the coming years. So indeed, unless there's any other comments, I'm happy to note this report.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councillor Carter.
Sorry, who proposed?
I proposed it.
Thank you.
Councillor Chair.
Accidentally.
No, that's your prerogative.
Okay, so the final item is date and time of next meeting, Wednesday, the 28th of May 2025. Again, following the Finance and General Purposes Committee meeting. Thank you very much. Meeting ended.
Thank you.